Good morning, RJ.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
So I got an ACC question for you to start off, a big picture one. But since you've been around a while, I figure you're equipped to answer this. The league's only gotten 5 bids in the tournament the last 3 years, and yet 4 different teams in the Final Four during that time. You know, teams that constantly are going to the Sweet 16, Elite 8. Why do you think there's a disconnect? The bids aren't coming, but yet the league keeps proving over and over when it's in the tournament that it's as good as anybody. Why is there a difference, do you think, or why is it not getting the respect it deserves?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out as well. Just in terms of the ACC and the conference and the amount of times we've made it to either the Elite 8, Final Four, and just the talent that has over the years has been proven. It seems like we should have gotten these bids, but because guard play is heavy. A lot of great bigs from previous years, so I'm just trying to figure that out as well. But I think each year we steady kind of prove them wrong because we either go deep in the run in the tournament and we have overall success as a conference. So hopefully the bids and whoever does the selections, they kind of open their eyes a little bit.
With last year, for example, Pitt didn't get in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, Wake too. I mean, Wake had, but Pitt was the one that seemed to stand out. And you guys had a hell of a time with them in the ACC tournament. So I'm just kind of curious, what's your reaction when you see something like that as a player? Like, you're worried about yourself, but then you're like, does it surprise you, or are you kind of like, I don't get it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show how much talented and deserving teams that deserve to be in the NCAA. And like you said, Pitt was one of them. I think they had a really good team and a really good record to show that. And I think this just shows that you can't overlook the ACC and our teams anymore when it comes to NCAA in the tournament, because I think we each year progressively proven to be there, whether in the Final Four or whether just in the conversation. So yeah.
Last thing, do you think the league is getting enough respect then in that regard? For a long time it was always the ACC is the best, and now it feels like maybe it's not the same respect.
Yeah, I mean, I think years before when I was there, I think everyone respectively was, all about the ACC, and then it kind of died down a little bit. I'm not sure what the reason is, because talent's always there. It's always been a competitive and great games from all conference games. So I think we just have to continue to keep doing what we're doing as a conference-wise. And I think people will start to notice a little bit more.
RJ,
Yeah.
when did you make the decision to come
Sorry,
back?
I was swiped with you.
All good. Before that, what went into that process, and when did you make the decision?
Yeah, it wasn't definitely not right after Alabama. I took a lot of time off to kind of just think and kind of just sit with my thoughts and emotions, just from right after Alabama all the way to the end of the month. Kind of just to make sure I was making the best decision that was, made for me. It was a hard decision to be made, just because of the team we had, the year I had, and just the ultimate goal that I want to play at the next level. So there was definitely a lot of mixed emotions and thoughts, but it took me to, I want to say, just around the deadline area to figure out if I wanted to come back or not.
What was the determining factor, and did you talk to Mondo about what he did and how it may have influenced you?
Yeah, I have reached out to a lot of former players, from Mondo to Theo, to Joe Barry. Had a lot of conversations with Hubert and even Coach Williams, because obviously this is a decision that's one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make, and it probably won't be the first. So I just want to make sure I was getting just the right insight and advice from people that I've trusted and people that I know have the best interests at heart for me.
What was the determining factor?
Really just overall, I had unfinished business, and how I wanted my legacy to be remembered, and how I wanted to leave an impact not just on this program but on my teammates, my coaching staff. Because obviously wins and accolades are great, but I think life goes beyond that. And that's how I looked at it, and that's how I want my legacy to be remembered. Yep.
What is that unfinished business, RJ, specifically?
Yeah, my overall goal coming to college was to win a national championship. So that's still on the table for me. And that's really the main goal.
Awesome. So did you talk to Caleb Love, who also, your former teammate, who also decided to come back? Did you guys talk over the offseason about coming back into college? Y'all, both of y'all's unfinished business. Do y'all still communicate?
We didn't talk about coming back to college. I think we both had obviously a decision to be made, but we both did exchange texts just after our games, after he played Clemson, after I played Alabama. And kind of just in regards to just making sure we're uplifted and support each other, even though we're at different schools. And that was like a heartfelt message for both of us, obviously because it wasn't the way we predicted things to go, just in terms of how talented we are and how much work ethic we put into our game. So we definitely reached out to one another just to make sure we were both good, and that just shows how much for brotherhood this goes beyond that.
Outside of winning the chip, I mean, what else is on your agenda to accomplish this season?
Yeah, obviously just the main goal for me is obviously the chip, but to lead these young guys, to take on that leadership role, to embrace that. I'm now the old guy, I'm the veteran, so it's definitely weird, but I'm embracing it, and that's like really my main goal is to make sure that we're aligned with what we want to do as a team, and overall just be able to play there the first week of April.
RJ, to what extent have you taken Ian Jackson under your wing, and how receptive has he been to your advice?